Let's talk about something fundamental for a lot of guys out there. How do you build real, genuine strength? Is it something you forge all by yourself in the fire of internal discipline? Or is it built through being absolutely accountable to the people who count on you? We're going to dive into both of these paths.
And that right there, that really sets the stage, doesn't it? Strength isn't an accident. It's not something you just find one day. It's a deliberate construction, built piece by piece, choice by choice, every single day. So the real question is, how do you start building?
You know, for a lot of men, this whole drive to build anything at all comes from this deep feeling that something is, well, off. It's a sense of being unfocused, kind of reactive, or just not feeling as strong as you know you could be.
And that leads to a pretty big question. One a lot of men are probably asking themselves, even if it's just in their own head. Why? With all the information and resources we have today, why is there this feeling of weakness or like you're not really in control? Well, the sources we looked at point to a few key culprits.
The thing is, the world we live in now, it's like a minefield of what you could call dopamine traps. You've got the endless scroll on your phone, the outrage of the day on the news, the constant ping of notifications. These are all weak inputs. Think of it like junk food for your brain. It just trains you to crave these cheap, easy hits instead of the real satisfaction that comes from actual progress. And over time, that just erodes your focus and drains your willpower.
And then there's this next trap, which the sources are incredibly direct about. They explain how giving in to lust literally hijacks your brain's reward system. It lights up the same pathways that addictive drugs do. And when that happens, it basically shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, the part that's supposed to be in charge of rational thought and long-term goals. In that moment, the only thing in the driver's seat is that desire for a quick fix.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because what happens with all that inner chaos? Well, often we're feeling this whole storm of complex emotions. Maybe it's insecurity or fear or frustration, but we don't really have the words for it. So what happens? It all gets bundled under one simple label, angry. And if you misunderstand what you're actually feeling, there's no way you can deal with the root cause.
Okay, so if the problem is a weak internal state, what's the solution? Well, the first path is all about going inward. It's a radical focus on conquering yourself from the inside out. This is all about forging an iron will through deliberate daily action.
So this first path, it starts the absolute second your alarm goes off. It's about winning that very first battle of the day. You wake up on your terms, no hitting snooze, and definitely no scrolling on your phone. Then you immediately move your body. Push-ups, a quick run, a cold shower, anything to shock the system awake. And here's the crucial part. You start the day with your thoughts, not the curated outrage and anxiety being pushed at you from your screen.
In this whole philosophy, it really runs on a few core, non-negotiable rules. First, you do something difficult on purpose every single day, because that's where strength grows, right at the edge of your comfort zone. If you slip up, if you give in to laziness, there's an immediate consequence. A set of push-ups, another cold shower, because failure has to hurt more than the effort. You build integrity by keeping your word, especially when nobody else is watching. And you become a gatekeeper, filtering out weakness from what you watch, what you read, and even how you speak.
And this right here, this is the absolute heart of this first path. It's not about watching motivational videos and feeling inspired. No, the crucial point is that real discipline is built through tangible, physical confrontation. It's the friction of doing push-ups until you literally can't do another one. It's the shock of a cold shower. That physical resistance, that's what builds mental control.
All right, so that's path one. Now, let's completely switch gears. We're going to move from a path that's all about your internal self to one that's focused on your external promises. This is the path to strength through accountability to others, specifically to your family.
What's interesting is how this second path starts. It begins by kind of redefining what we even mean by a father figure. The sources for this, like the Angry Dad Progress Report, make it clear that it's not just about biology. It's about a role you choose to step into. It's a conscious commitment to guide, to support, and to be accountable to the people who depend on you. It's an action, a verb, not just a title.
So you can really see the two paths laid out side by side here, right? Path one is all about self-mastery, about winning that war inside your own head, often in complete silence. Path two is all about building relational trust, where your strength is really measured by your ability to keep your word to the people who matter most.
Okay, so how does this second path actually work in the real world? It's not just some nice idea, it's a tangible framework. It's designed specifically to bridge that gap between having good intentions and actually taking real-world action.
This is the Angry Dad Progress Report. And hey, don't let the name fool you. It has nothing to do with yelling. It's actually a structured, results-driven tool for fathers and father figures to become more present and intentional. It's all about turning that vague desire to be a better dad into a concrete plan with results you can actually see.
And see, this is the big difference from that first path we talked about. This one is fundamentally relational. Success isn't just about how you feel about yourself. It's about the tangible impact your actions have on your family. It's about building this fortress of trust, one promise at a time, day in and day out.
One of the key tools they talk about is this idea of a family contract. And look, this isn't some stuffy legal document. It's just about getting clear. By actually writing down your shared goals and who's responsible for what, you get rid of all the confusion and you create a shared mission. It makes your promises visible and turns accountability into a team sport. And this all works because it's a loop, right? A repeatable process for growth. You set the goals together, you schedule weekly check-ins, and the key is non-confrontational. You use something like a progress report to get honest feedback. Then you actually reflect on it without getting defensive, you look for patterns, and you pick one or two specific things to change for the next week. The goal here isn't to be perfect, it's just about consistent progress.
So, we've looked at two really different ways to build strength: the internal warrior and the accountable leader. The big question is, how do they fit together? What's the end game here?
And this right here is the main takeaway from all of this. These two paths, they're not in conflict, not at all. In fact, they're deeply connected. That radical self-discipline you build when you're all alone, that's the very thing that gives you the strength and the integrity to keep your promises to other people. Think about it. You can't be a rock for your family if you're built on sand. One path builds the foundation for the other.
Because in the end, whether you're battling yourself or showing up for your family, it's all pointing to one thing: legacy. It's about intentionally building something that's going to last beyond you. Strength isn't just for you, it's for the people you lead and love. It's about building a positive impact that people will remember.
And that's really the question to leave you with. That internal battle for self-mastery, it's essential. But the true test of that strength is what you create with it. It's a powerful thing to build yourself into a strong man. But the real legacy lies in what and who you build up along the way.